Good evening. Welcome to the Pullman City Council meeting for this Tuesday, May the 9th. Nice to have you with us here today. We had a State of the City address for the Chamber of Commerce earlier today. Got a lot of things on the agenda, had some good presentations. And with that, Dee, please take roll.
Mayor Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Benjamin.
Present.
Councilmember Dubin.
Here.
Councilmember Guido.
Here.
Councilmember McCall.
Here.
Councilmember Parks.
Here.
Councilmember Weller.
Present.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Under announcements tonight, City of Pullman staff collected 225 pounds and more of food during the month of April to benefit the Community Action Center. It's all part of our wellness campaign. And the city has been busy getting the word out to the community on our water conservation. Messages are underway right now on our website. We'll be doing a lot more. And Matt Young, before he left for Florida, created a nice logo that we can maybe help remember which is even and which is odd as we conserve water. Currently, applications are being accepted for the Arts Commission, Civil Service Commission, and Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee. Also, we'd like to know that Pullman Transit is now on their summertime schedule, and that started on Monday. They'll resume the regular session on August 20th. And if you'd like to find out more, you just go to the Pullman Transit website. The new Krugel Park shelter construction is complete. Reservations for this and other park shelters are open at the park section on the city website. Lawson Gardens annual plant sale is happening this Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can pick up veggie starts, annual bedding plants, lilies, petunias, zinnias, marigolds, and much more at Lawson Gardens. And now through June 5th, you can get 20% off on swim passes for Rainy Park Pool, purchase online. Those in need of assistance to purchase those passes, invited to take a look at our scholarship plans that we have. Neal Public Library. Tomorrow we'll be hosting at 6 o'clock, celebrating the new book, Cascadia Field Guide, Art, Ecology, Poetry. Meet Cascadia editors. They'll be there at 6 o'clock. Books will be available to purchase thanks to Book People in Moscow. The event is an opportunity to build community and express for the natural beauty in which we live. The social hour begins at 4:30. That's at Neal Public Library. Cascadia is the region stretching from southeast Alaska to northern California, from Pacific Ocean to the Continental Divide. It encompasses many North American great natural wonders. So you learn all these things from the library. A couple of proclamations we put out this week. The Rotary Club of Pullman, civic organization, was founded on May 24th, 1948. It's now 75 years old. And whereas in the decades since then, the club and the Rotarians have committed to service in our community, our nation, and the world. And whereas the City of Pullman and its residents are grateful for the Rotary Club's 75th year of service, and thank the club and all their members. Also, that this is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's been observed in the U.S. since 1949. Every year during the month of May, the National Alliance of Mental Illness joins the national movement to raise awareness about mental health. Whereas mental health is an incredibly important part of overall health, with a growing number of Americans experiencing mental health symptoms, we need to join together to advocate for improving our nation's mental health care system. So therefore, I, Glenn Johnson, the Mayor of Pullman, I proclaim the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Going along with that, Jake Opgenorth, our police chief, shared an email that came in from a parent just this past week. I wanted to thank the Pullman Police Department staff and specifically Sergeant Todd Dow and Officer Heidi Lamley. He said his experience in working with Sergeant Dow and Officer Lamley while his daughter was having a mental health crisis was the best customer service and interaction best he had ever had. He said that Todd was outstanding from start to finish. He was very thankful that Heidi kept him up to date on everything. And while speaking with Jake, he broke down in tears and told him that he was heartbroken trying to help his daughter in this mental health crisis. But our officers calmed his nerves so well, and he added their communication skills, professionalism, and compassion were excellent. And so Jake thanked Todd and Heidi for their work and also reminded everybody what the mission of the Pullman Police Department is, to provide professional police services that prioritize public safety, quality of life, and the rights of all, courage, integrity, and compassion. And we thank our Pullman police officers for that great work. With that, we now have item number C on our agenda tonight, And that is a motion to appoint Tim Cordodor as the Lodging Tax Advisory Commission with a term expiring December 31st. He's picking up Jackie's term, and he's one of the managers of the Courtyard Inn. Do I hear a motion on this one?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We also have another appointment. This is a one-time, it's a Construction Board of Appeals, and we're appointing Rich Dragoo, Ned Warnick, Evan Laubach, Teresa Heistman, and Frank Gomez to the Construction Board of Appeals for a one-time appeal. Do I hear a motion on that one?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? With that, we now go to presentations. Now I get to make a presentation to Jake Opgenworth, our Chief of Police. He did all the work, but I get to present it to him. So. I'm going to let you hold this right away, because I don't want to do anything that got dropped here. So some of you probably know Jake finished the FBI Academy, and there's also a presentation where he went through what they call a trilogy: Supervisor Leadership Institute, Command Leadership, and Executive Leadership. And you're getting a congratulations from the FBI, the LEDA staff, and you might just give a little, just a recap. Not the whole 2 years, 3 years that you went through it, but just a little recap of some of the things that you picked
All right.
up.
Yeah, this is training put on by FBI LEDA, the Law Enforcement Executive Development Association. And there's 3 parts to the trilogy, as mentioned: supervisor level, command level, and executive level. And thanks to the city and Gary Jenkins, I was able to start this process several years ago, and I just finished the 3rd training this year, and that's what this award is for. And I also am happy to announce that FBI LEDA just agreed to come to Pullman in 2024 and put on the Supervisor Leadership Institute. So we'll be able to get all of our sergeants into that.
That's great.
Next year.
Yeah, super. And Mike, our fire chief, has also been to executive management training too as well, but back at Emmitsburg, Maryland, I think is where you had to go. And you got to go to Quantico. Quantico's probably got a better reputation than Emmitsburg. I've been to Emmitsburg. I've been to Emmitsburg for training.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it. I am innocent.
I lived a week in my office. If you break it, you break it.
All right, now comes the Whitman County Humane Society. And we have our Humane Society Director, Jeff DeBoer, with us today. Wants to give the quarterly update that the council asked for a while back. So thank you, Jeff, for being here.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Jeff Dorr. I am the president of the board of directors with the Whitman County Humane Society. As many of you have known, at the end of last summer, we had some challenges with the staffing. And the board took that opportunity to look at the staffing and the facility and the overall health of the shelter. And
Jeff, you might put that microphone down a little
yeah.
bit more. There you go.
And
Thank you.
with the changes we've made and the adjustments we've made, I think the shelter is in a stronger position now, and we can aggressively meet the challenges that have been coming forward as of this year. So with the animal numbers through today, when I pulled this, we've taken in 159 animals. The biggest number is, or second biggest number of strays was 71. Most of those are cats and kittens, and then 73 owner and guardian surrenders. We're averaging about 37 a month, but with intakes this year, everything's behind. Our kitten season's already a month behind. 3 weeks ago, we had 0 kittens, and now we're up over 50. Usually this happens in March and April. So last year was late, this year's later. Outcomes through this month, we've done 141 adoptions, clinic outs, or other return to owners. We've had a few perish, and we've had to euthanize 4 due to not able to give them a quality of life that they deserve. It's met through our bylaws for euthanasia, so we have a very strict guideline. We are a no-kill shelter, and the only reason we do this is if their health, we can't bring them back. So, so there's some issues we face. Funding. We just, back in February, we had our fur ball. We did net over $20,000 after we accounted for all our expenses and everything. And considering we've had no fur ball for pretty much 3 years, it was a godsend as far as funding went. Right now, most of our budget goes to staffing, approximately 70%. And it's been really challenging because the minimum wage is going up every year, and it makes it hard for us to budget for the following year since the wage increase isn't announced till September 30th, right? And we try to be fair with our staff. So when they did the wage increase in January this year, we upped everybody across the board that 74 cents. And our goal is to continue doing that, so the new people coming in are not getting paid almost the same as the people that have been there for a while. I really appreciate our shelter management staff, Whitney and Alex. They do an amazing job. It's a fun dynamic to watch because they have different personalities, but they get along so good and they work together so good. And Alex just completed her fire training over at Musco Fire Department, so she's going to be doing a one-day rotation a week there starting in the fall. So the other challenge is the facility. We honestly could use a new building to house 20 more dogs, but in reality, we need room for about 40. We have room for about 8 to 10 dogs tops. But 2 of those spots we have to reserve for the police department for impounds and strays. So we actually have room for about 6 to 8 typically. We are looking at different ways to try and find funding for a new building. And the ASPCA has agreed to help us. If we do a feasibility study, they will help us find the funding. So that was something we learned when we completed the TNR trailer, and they came out to, they donated $12,000 toward our TNR trailer. Our TNR trailer is a trap neuter release. The goal of trap neuter release is we go in and trap wild kittens, feral cats that have not been fixed. We take them in, we take them to a clinic, get them fixed, and then we turn them to the colony they're from. What that does is it keeps new colonies from growing because each colony can only sustain so many cats. And what happens is when it reaches that threshold, they go and start a new colony. So by keeping the colony at the same size, it keeps it from growing and keeps new colonies from growing. And we got another one scheduled, I believe, next month in Albion, because Albion's been a big challenge for us. So we've had multiple issues out there. And then there's a few trailer parks in the Pullman city limits that we're going to try and get to this year. Other challenges. I don't know how this started, but we have really poor relationships with the surrounding shelters. And it's not just us communicating with them, it's them communicating with us, but talking with the shelters trying to fix this. It's not just us and them, it's them with, it's Moscow with the Lewiston shelter, every shelter is, we don't have very good communication open. One of my goals as president is try to strengthen that up. So if we have a need to transfer animals, we can meet that, or if they have a need, they can transfer them to us. That's one really big goal I'd like to see. And I really think we need to improve our engagement with the community better, get more communication out there. My goal is to get see if we can get a marketing team in to volunteer some time and give us some ideas and a plan going forward so we can plan a marketing budget so we can have consistent communication out there. And then next big thing is our next big fundraiser is on July 16th, Sunday. It's Cruising for Critters. It's a motorcycle fundraiser, so everybody meets at Zeppo's. We go on a short trip, make a few stops. We have raffle, so if anybody wants to come out and join us, you're welcome to. You don't have to be in a motorcycle. If you want to come in your car, you'll just follow behind all the motorcycles in your car. And we'll have a nice set of prizes, and it starts and ends at Zeppo's. So, and I think it kicks off at 10 is when we do signups, and I think 11 is when everybody starts to depart. So I'm open for any questions.
Okay, questions? Okay, go to Megan first and then Nathan.
Well, thank you, Jeff, for coming and presenting today. One of those that requested an update with all the transitions and changes, and having worked on a lot of nonprofit boards, I understand the dynamics of that and the challenges and the dedication that's needed. And I appreciate your transparency about the challenges, and particularly around communication. I just am offering, I'm happy to talk to you more about some marketing ideas, but I did want to say I feel like your social media is doing really well. I'm a sucker for those pictures of dogs and cats, so keep them coming. And kind of an ignorant question, but what's the relationship with the veterinarians in the community? How does that work?
We have a pretty good relationships with some of them. Dr. Edwards up in Palouse, she does almost all our cat and kitten spays and neuters.
Okay.
And we are going through a challenge right now. Shelter medicine at WSU's they're reducing down extensively. So Bob Maley is going to come to our board meeting next Monday to explain, and he's one of the administrators for the vet sciences department at WSU, and he's coming to explain his plan going forward and how they plan to continue to support us, because they support, I think it's 6 shelters in the Northwest, and they're all pretty large compared to Pullman, so it's a pretty big change all the way around. And they also lost their shelter medicine veterinarian at the end of this month. He's moving on, so. And they almost did all of our dogs at no cost to us, so it's going to be quite a challenge.
Nathan?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Jeff, I really appreciate, I mean, we've talked that all of you decided to continue moving forward under some challenging circumstances. And I know I appreciated having gotten a chance from the Humane Society that, the dog services that you provide, the one-on-one, the volunteers. I stopped in on Alex and Whitney to drop off some food, and they seemed stellar. And I just wanted to also recognize Gina Wilson had been really involved in the last fundraiser. So you've got a lot of really, really passionate people, yourself included, and we're fortunate that you're still moving forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Eileen?
Yeah, I understand the challenges with the facility. Have you looked at the previous feasibility study that was done?
I would like to find it.
I may have a copy.
Oh, I
but
would
some-
love to get it
But
from
some
you.
should have a copy. It was done in about 2000, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, so it might give you a place to start in terms of asking questions and that sort of thing. It's always kind of know where you've been to know where you're going.
Oh, that'd
So
be excellent. I'd
Start
really appreciate it.
asking around, and maybe I'll do some digging in the process of spring cleaning.
Okay, Ann?
Hi, Jeff. Thank you so much for that presentation. My husband and I have adopted 4 cats over the years from your Humane Society, our Humane Society, and the last 2 were owner relinquished, and we've had them for about a year and a half. And it's really rewarding to just see how grateful they are to have a home and the work that you all do, that you're reminded of that regularly, that it really does make a big difference in not only the animals' lives, but the owners as well. So, thank you.
All right, Jeff, thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That we now move to public comment. Is there anyone who would make a comment about any final action the council is going to take tonight? Seeing none, we'll just move on from there. We have now the consent agenda. These items are considered routine in nature. Do I have a motion to read by title only?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to that? Thad O'Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item is a motion to dispense with the reading of April 25th, 2023 meeting minutes and approve them as submitted. Item 2 is a motion to approve disbursements for accounts payable checks numbered 110171 through 110245, totaling $391,208.70. Item 3 is a motion to approve disbursements for accounts payable checks numbered 110246 through 110254, electronic transfers 107, 108, and 1000 through 1004, payroll direct deposits numbered 84637 through 84982, totaling $977,193.15. Item 4, a motion to approve disbursements for accounts payable checks numbered 110255 through 110306, totaling $1,369,085.22. Item 5, a motion to authorize a data access agreement with Providence Data Access for ambulance building. And finally, item 6, a motion to authorize an amendment to Pullman Transit Dial-A-Ride Operating Grant PTD 0247, accepting $48,589 additional state special needs transportation formula funds.
Is there any item the council would like to offer discussion? Seeing none, the consent agenda consists of items 1 through 6. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, Brenda, you can bill, because you have access now for Providence Data Access. Way to go. And thank you, Brenda, for being here tonight. We see you around the corner here all the time. Okay. Now we go to the regular agenda. Motion to authorize the chief of police to proceed with returning a 4th code enforcement position to the staffing model as requested. Mike Urban, our city administrator, is here.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council. So as part of the 23-24 biennial budget, one vacant code enforcement position was not funded as previously to provide some time for additional analysis on these operations. After meeting with various departments as well as the chief of police and the commander, I took my information back and met with the mayor and discussed what I saw was a potential path forward to making some strong improvements and providing some support to code enforcement to do their jobs. So through these discussions, we've come up with kind of a 4-point approach here to get us started, and the most important one, and why I'm here in front of you tonight, is to return that code enforcement position back to the police department. And along with that, having staff work with the code enforcement department, particularly myself and the city attorney, to make sure that some of our codes get clarified, new codes get added, and language cleaned up. So we'd be working on that and bringing that back to council for discussion. And then just make sure that the code enforcement department remains the point of contact for any code enforcement issues. And then making sure that our staff who have professional expertise in areas that maybe the code enforcement doesn't, like RJ with dwellings and those types of items, we become partners and work hand in hand with them. So in order to return this code enforcement position back to the police department, we're assuming a June 1st hire. We know that is extremely ambitious considering having to go through civil service and do a couple other pieces, but I'm painting for you the most expensive scenario. So that would involve a budget amendment, which is the next item if this is approved, of $58,530 for 2023, and then $100,692 for next year, and that would include wages, benefits, and all the things that would come along with bringing that position back. So staff recommends that based on the needs of the community, the police department, motion to allow the chief of police to proceed with returning this position back to their department as the staffing model has shown. And then I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? Good. Do I hear a motion then on this? Oh, Megan? Oh, you did. When you put your finger down, I thought, oh, she didn't have a question. Okay.
It's all right. Just a comment. I'm very in favor of bringing this position back. And then, as the chief said today at the chamber luncheon, this really speaks to quality of life in Pullman, and just a greater focus on looking at our codes and analyzing, bringing them up to date, but also really, code enforcement is labor intensive, and we need to focus on this and the resources that we need to make sure it's being done properly, because I hear folks saying that that's an area of need and has been identified. So I'm very in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you. This is one of those. This is the most important tool to get us started, and then looking at those codes and making sure that there's clarity for Liz and her team to do their jobs.
Okay, with that, do I hear a motion?
Move to authorize the chief of police to proceed with reading a fourth code enforcement position.
Second.
We have a second. The motion authorized chief of police proceed with returning the fourth code enforcement position to the staffing model as requested. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Council.
And now comes the corresponding ordinance to modify the budget. Urban.
Thank you again, Mayor. So as we discussed in the previous item, normally with budget amendments, we like to bring those at the end of the year to do the cleanup. But when it comes to staffing and those types of issues, we like to bring them concurrently for clarity on our end, especially for payroll and those items. So what you see before you tonight is ordinance number 23-9, amending the 2023-24 biennial budget in the dollar amounts as presented in my previous item for this code enforcement position. So staff recommends that council adopt the ordinance as presented.
Any comments? With that, do I hear a motion on this resolution?
Move to approve ordinance number 23-9.
Second.
And with that, you want to read the resolution?
Ordinance number 23-9, an ordinance amending ordinance number 22-25, adopted November 29, 2022, and entitled An Ordinance Adopting a Biennial Budget for the City of Pullman for the Biennium 2023 to 2024 for citywide budgets.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item number 3 tonight is a resolution accepting the bid of Motley & Motley. You heard a detailed presentation the last time we got together from Carrie, our city engineer, and now Mike's following up with that. Again, Mike Urban.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm here pinch hitting tonight for Public Works due to a couple items, but help is on the way. He's sitting in the back of the room. Sean Wells, our new Public Works Director, starts tomorrow, but he's already here tonight and was at State of the City, so if you haven't had a chance to meet him, please do. So hopefully for the last time for me pitch hitting for Public Works. So contract 23-01 arterial streets resurfacing for 2023 includes resurfacing 0.91 miles of urban arterial streets on College Hill. There's a map that's up on your view right now, as well as it's included in your council packet. And the project addresses Merman Drive from Terraview Drive down to Westwood, and Westwood Drive from Merman down to Northwood Drive as shown on the site map. Project also includes construction of ADA-compliant sidewalks, ramps along the project limits, and incorporating complete streets elements such as 2 transit bus pullouts and bike lanes that were discussed at the April 25th meeting. Bids were received on April 25th. 2 bids came in, and the low bidder was Motley & Motley with the bid total of $1,602,613.85, which is below the engineer's estimate of $1.705 million. Project is included in the city's capital improvement program, and funding will come through the Arterial Streets Fund and a federal grant, which is covering 86.5% of this work. If council authorizes the award of the project, work is expected to begin the first week of June and completed by the end of October. Sooner is better. We're going to work on that. Staff recommends awarding the contract 23-01 for arterial streets resurfacing to Motley & Motley, Inc. for $1,602,613.85 by adopting Resolution R-1923. And I'd be happy to answer any questions on this.
Any questions? And I think you can see from the State of the City that we had some TIB money involved with this one here, too. So, do I hear a motion on this?
Move to adopt resolution R-1923.
Moving second.
Resolution number R-19-23, a resolution accepting the bid of Motley & Motley, Inc. for the Arterial Streets Resurfacing 2023 project and authorizing execution and delivery of the contract for said project.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Council.
We now move to new business. I have one item that Nathan has, and I will go to you for the next new business. So, Nathan?
Thanks, Mayor. The proclamation for mental health, May Mental Health Month, is great. Along that is, there is a mental health walk. It's a 5K over in Moscow, but just like mental illness and mental health knows no boundaries. So it starts at Palouse Mall at 10:30, May 11th, Thursday. Thank you. And that's when check-in happens, and then the walk actually starts at 11 a.m., and it's a 5K over to Friendship Square, where the presentation will take place. If you can't walk that, it's fine. The presentation is at noon. We're going to have several speakers, Jolene Cliff from Disability.
Thank you. I wanted to inform the mayor and the city council that, of course, you know that I've been serving on the Town Pullman Association board as the city council liaison. As of last week, the DPA, Downtown Pullman Association Board, or organization rather, does not have an executive director. I've agreed to assist on an ongoing basis with communications needs during this time until either an interim director or a permanent director is placed. And I'm doing that in the capacity as a private contractor through my business, MCG Enterprises. And as such, I need to resign from the board to avoid any kind of conflict of interest. So I wanted to let the board know that you need to appoint another representative. And I will remain on, I will continue to DPA board meetings in the capacity as a contractor.
Becky?
I'd like to, excuse me, thank Councilmember Guido for her service on the DPA board and nominate Ann Parks, if she's willing, to serve as the liaison with the City Council and the DPA.
Okay. Do I hear a second on that one? Nominate? Okay, second. Any others? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You're in, Ann. Thank you very much for stepping up. We appreciate that. And Megan, best wishes on the contract and working with them. It's important. It's an important mission. So, is there any other new business to come before the council tonight? Seeing none, then at this time the council will adjourn for an executive session to consider the minimum price at which real estate will be offered for sale or lease when public knowledge regarding such consideration would cause a likelihood of decrease in price, provided final action selling or leasing public property shall be taken in a meeting open in public, and to discuss with legal counsel representing the city matters relating to agency enforcement actions, or discuss with legal counsel representing the agency of potential litigation. Executive session will last approximately 10 minutes. It is 7:35 right now, and I think we can start at 7:40, and we'll go from 10 from right there. So with that, we'll now adjourn into executive session. Okay. Okay, can I get a second?
I second.
Okay, hold a second. You make the motion?
I move to adjourn.
Okay, Ann, you want to do the second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Motion, who made the second?
okay.
Francis
Francis
Ann.
made the motion. Ann made